Pawtucket Municipal Traffic Court is now in session. The Honorable Chief Judge Donna M. Nesselbush presiding.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, Sergeant, officers, Madam Clerk. Oh, please be seated. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you all to Pawtucket Municipal Traffic Court. We actually have a very light docket today, which has been unusual for us of late, so we'll do our best to get you all in and out of here as quickly as we can. There's always a couple things I let people know before we call the docket. And one is about the good driver statute. So the good driver statute says that if you have a clean driving record in the last 3 years, depending on your record, at my discretion, I can dismiss a traffic violation against you. In order to use the good driver statute, you have to feel that you're guilty of the offense. If you wish to plead guilty and have it dismissed under the good driver statute, there is a $25 surcharge for that, but I assure you that that $25 is less expensive than the traffic fines, which are $85, $95, and sometimes even more. However, I also want you to know that you have all of your rights available to you to plead not guilty. So if you feel that you're not guilty of the offense, we'll have you have what we call a pre-trial conference with the captain. The captain is here today, is that true? Is Captain Gotts? Okay, so we'll have you have a pre-trial conference with Officer Jarvis today. And maybe there were some extenuating circumstances or something you can work out. Otherwise, we'll give you a date for a trial, and at that time, myself or the other judge of this court, my associate, Judge Gannon, will have a trial. You can bring any witnesses that you have. The city would bring any witnesses they have, and we'll do our best to render a fair and impartial decision about the traffic stop. The only other thing I let people know is that the good driver statute applies to what we call moving violations, things like speeding and stop sign violations. It does not apply to what I refer to as paperwork violations. Those would be things like registration or inspection sticker violations. So with that, Sarge, we'll call our first case, and I think everything will become clear and apparent for you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with taking an illegal left turn Newport at Mill. You do have a nice, clean driving record. If you are guilty, I can dismiss that for you. How do you plead? All right, ma'am, we're going to enter your guilty plea, dismiss it for you under the good driver statute. There'll be a $25 surcharge, $35 of court costs, $60 total. And with that, you can go right through that door, and you can take care of that on the first floor. Uh-oh, you're going to be running today, Nay? Ooh. All right, the computers are down, but we have a runner, so you can go right through that door, and we'll get your paperwork with you.
It's
been a long time since we've had a computer glitch. Okay, sir, have you replaced that headlight? Awesome. Do you just have some proof of that, a receipt or some kind of slip? You just show the sergeant that. All right, sir, I believe that you have changed that. It's all working properly now? Yes. Okay, that'll be a dismissal. There's no fine with that, just the $35 of court costs. But with that, you can go right through that door, and they'll get you downstairs to pay that off. All right, thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, you're here on a motion to vacate. So what I see is that you were issued a seatbelt violation on June 8th. You were supposed to come to court on July 10th. When you didn't appear in court on that day, I defaulted you, meaning that I found you guilty by default. Apparently after that, because of the failure to appear in court and the unpaid fine, the Division of Motor Vehicles moved to suspend your license, and that will go into effect on Wednesday the 15th. Okay, and so you are here. At the time of the incident, I was wearing my seatbelt. However, it was under my arm, and because it cuts into my neck. Okay, but you cannot use your seatbelt that way, ma'am. And so my first question to you is, why didn't you appear in court?
I just had a lot, and then I was just thinking actually,
But why didn't, when you saw that ticket in your car and you said, oh my God, I forgot that ticket, why didn't you call the court and say, hey, gosh, I found this in my car?
It was literally like a couple days
All right, ma'am, I don't know, you have a lot of excuses, it seems like to me. To the seatbelt violation on 6/8/17, how do you plead?
I guess I have to plead guilty because, I mean, I didn't have it on properly, but I had it on.
All right, well, you got to have it on properly because a V is, partly how the police officers can see who's wearing their seatbelts or not. All right, ma'am, so that is a $40 fine and $36 of court costs, so that's a total of $76. And you'll have to, if you can pay that before Wednesday, you can get yourself out of hock. Otherwise, there's an additional $151 to reinstate your license. So you're going to want to get that all taken care of. Did you bring money today?
I didn't.
All right, listen, your license is going to be,
It expired at 12 at night, right? I mean, 12.
you got to take care of that paperwork before then, though. Tomorrow, I'm sure, would be your last possible day.
By Wednesday at noon time would be great, because we do need to fax those.
All right, so my clerk says Wednesday at noon. After that, it will cost you an additional $150 because you'll have to then reinstate your license. All right, ma'am, you always have to take care of those things. Do you want a new docket sheet on that?
Are you vacating the course or no?
No?
Nope.
She's got to pay it. Okay. All right, ma'am, remember, and ladies and gentlemen, those things never go away. When you find a ticket you didn't pay, it always makes sense to call the court or something because eventually the DMV does catch up with you. Okay, so today was 11, 13, 17, and this was, she is here on 11, 13, 17. All right, I use the same docket sheet, so, okay. Thanks for coming to court, ma'am. All right, next case. Good morning, ma'am. You've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Prospect Street, 6/12/13 and 7/25/17. So you do have some things on your record, but they are more than 3 years old. So you do qualify to that charge. How do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, ma'am. I'm going to dismiss that for you under the good driver statute. Case dismissed, $60 on the first floor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Have a
coming
good
to
day.
court.
Rita Pistacco. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. You do have a clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, ma'am. You're all set. Case dismissed under the
Thank
good
you.
driver statute.
Oh, thank you.
Pedro Nix. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning,
Morning.
sir. You've been charged with speeding on Fountain Street. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir. You're all set. Case dismissed under the good driver statute.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for coming to court.
Posada. Spare the last name. Obedience to stop sign, qualifies.
All righty. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you have been charged by Pawtucket Police with failing to stop properly on the off-ramp Thurston at Newell. You do have a nice, clean driving record. I do appreciate that. To that charge, how do you plead?
Feel guilty.
Guilty? Okay, ma'am, I'll be happy to dismiss that based on your good driving record. Case dismissed, $60 on the first floor. Thank you for coming to court.
Jeanette Sharo. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am. You've been charged with speeding on Prospect Street. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, case dismissed under your good driving record, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to court.
Jose Cabrera. Obedience to stop sign, qualifies.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you've been charged with that same stop sign violation Thurston at Newell. You do have a clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir. Thank you for your honesty, and you're all set. Case
you.
dismissed under the good driving statute.
Megan McGrath. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Benefit Street. You do have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, thank you for your honesty, and you're all set. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
George Woodhead. Obedience to stop sign qualifies.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, you have been charged by Pawtucket Police with failing to stop properly Rice Street at Bart Drive. You do have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir, you're all set. I'm going to dismiss that. You have a nice, clean record. I appreciate that. You're all set, sir. It'll appear on
Thank
your
you.
record as a dismissal, $60 on the first floor. Thank you. Right through that door. And the officer will direct you downstairs to the cashier at the first floor.
Ari Navarro. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Fountain Street. To that charge, how do you plead? Guilty? All right, ma'am. Thank you for coming to court. You're all set. $60, $60 on the first floor.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Jesse Ringowitz. Obedience to stop sign qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. Ma'am, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with failing to stop properly Thurston at Newell. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right. I'm going to enter your guilty plea, and I'll be happy to dismiss that for you under the good driver statute. Thanks for
you.
coming to court. Have a nice day.
Yesenia Salas. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am. You've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Prospect. To that charge, how do you plead? Guilty? All right. Thanks for your honesty, ma'am. You're all set. Case dismissed.
Thank you.
All right.
Thomas Foley. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Sir, you've been charged with speeding on Newport Avenue. You do have a nice, clean driving record in the last 3 years. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, you're all set, sir. Thanks for coming to court. Case dismissed under the good driver statute.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great
$60
day.
on the first floor.
Paul Kosa. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you have been charged with speeding on Fountain Street. You also do have a clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir. Case dismissed under your good record. Thanks
thank you, Your
for
Honor.
coming to court.
Victor Andriozzi. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard, and you do have a clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, sir. You're all set. Case dismissed.
you.
Have a nice day.
Joanne McIntyre. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am. You've been charged also with speeding on Fountain, and you also have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
All right. Thanks for your honesty, ma'am, and I'm happy to dismiss that for you, okay? Case dismissed.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Jeffrey Kiefer. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, sir. You've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard, and you also have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir. You're all set.
Thank
Case
you.
dismissed.
Stephen Skeldon. Obedience to stop sign qualifies.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police failing to stop properly Rice at Bart. Let's see. 11013, you make it. All right, sir, you do have a clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir, you're all set. Case
Thank you.
dismissed.
And Roby Burgos. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Fountain. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty? All right. Thank you for your honesty and for coming to court. You're all set. I'm going to dismiss that for you based on your good record, okay?
Thank you.
Case dismissed, $60 on the first floor.
Savan Chan. Speeding first offense qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Newport Avenue. You do have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, thank you for your honesty. You're all set. Case dismissed.
Donna.
Bye-bye now.
Carlos Franco.
Good morning,
How
sir.
long have you had your license? How long have you had your license?
I like
Oh, yeah, it's for, here for review, I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir,
Set up service.
do you speak English okay?
Yeah.
Okay. ¿Español mejor o inglés mejor?
Español.
Español, ok. Usted estuvo aquí delante del otro juez en el día julio 20. El juez le dio 10 horas de servicio a la comunidad porque usted no ha estado manejando por 3 años. So we gave him community service back in July, and we're going to see if he performed his community service. And he did so here in the city of Central Falls, in their Parks and Recreation Department, 10 hours of community service. Okay, sir, has hecho lo que pedimos, you've done what we asked of you, so we're going to dismiss this now for your community service, okay?
Thank you.
Abandonado, thank you. Case dismissed. Yeah, $35, Carlos, $35 de los gastos de la corte, pero ninguna multa, okay? No fine, just $35 of court
Your
costs.
Honor, would you mind if counsel approaches the bench?
Of course. Please come forward, counsel.
Good morning, Roger
Good morning.
Ross with the respondent. Your Honor, I've just been advised, I've got a housing case, and apparently it's going to be a while before they get reached. If I could be excused for a while, I can just walk back to my office.
Of course.
Right.
Is this on what matter is this on?
Heatherington,
This is on Heatherington.
the elevator
Okay.
case.
Sure, we'll give you a call, as when we think we're gonna be on.
Less than 5 minutes to get here.
Okay.
I'm on the corner of Main.
Great. No, I know exactly where
Yeah,
you are,
okay.
Counselor. Yes, and then I will wanna handle that as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you. We'll see you back. Maybe Donna, you can sort of be
I will.
eyeing.
Okay.
So we'll go to the housing court as soon
I'll
as
be
we
in the
finish.
office.
No problem,
Thank you.
Counselor. All right, next case.
Joanna Rubles. Speeding, first offense, qualified.
Good morning, ma'am. You've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, thanks for coming to court. You're all set.
Ryan Blake. Obedience to traffic device, no left turn, does qualify.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, you've been charged with speeding on Newport Avenue. You do have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right. Case dismissed under the good driver statute. $60.
Stephen Kelly. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. You've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
You're all set, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to court.
Thanks.
Theodore Austin. Speeding, qualifies.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on East Avenue. You have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
You're all set, sir. Thanks for coming to court.
Vivian Andrews. Speeding, qualifies.
All right. Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Okay, it looks like you do have a clean driving record. You're all set, ma'am. Case dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Julian Rivera. Speeding, second offense, does not qualify.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Central Avenue. You do have another speeding violation just last month. Where was that speeding violation?
Newport Ave?
Right here in Pawtucket?
Yeah.
All right, sir, so not only do you not qualify for the good driver statute, but because it's 2 in 1 year, it calls for enhanced penalties. To that charge of speeding on Central Ave, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, I'm gonna enter your guilty plea, sir, and I'll allow you to pay the enhanced fine. Madam Clerk, it's $195, correct? So that's $195 plus court costs, so it'd be $230. But sir, I will admonish you, you now have 2 in 1 year. the fines and the penalties get stricter and stricter. So maybe you just had a bad run, but I know if this case were to come back before me with anything else within the year, and then even beyond that, you definitely would be in danger of a suspension of your license, okay? So heed this warning, and now you gotta start driving a whole lot slower and a whole lot better, okay? 2 cases in 1 year, $230 in fines, and I hope you use this for your advantage to drive slower and better, because your insurance is gonna go through the roof. But most importantly, it's a safety issue. For your safety, but also somebody that, speed is a factor in many, many accidents, so we want to make sure that you do the right thing, okay? Slow down.
Thank you.
Next case.
Joseph Patacula. Obedience to traffic device, no left turn, qualifies.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Sir, you've been charged with that illegal left turn, Newport at Mill. You do have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
You're all set, sir. Thanks for your honesty. Case dismissed.
Christine Adams. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. You do have a clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, case dismissed based on your good record.
Stephen Pichet.
Morning, sir.
Failure to yield right of way.
Accident resulting?
I don't believe so.
No accident, sir? All right, sir, I usually see these violations in the context of an accident, but obviously I know nothing about this case other than that you have been charged by Pawtucket Police with failing to yield the right-of-way on Comstock Street. You do have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead? All right, sir. Thanks for your honesty. I'm going to dismiss that. I do appreciate your good record. $60 on the first floor. All righty.
Nancy Biggs. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, thanks for your honesty. You're all set.
Thanks so much.
Whitney Holmes. Speeding, first offense,
Good
qualifies.
morning, ma'am.
Morning, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you've been charged also with speeding on Armistice. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, thanks for your honesty, ma'am. You have a nice day. Case dismissed.
Thank you.
Daniel Aruda. No left turn, qualifies.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
You've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Newport Avenue. And,
Speeding? Daniel LaRue? Nope.
oh, I'm sorry, you've been charged with a no left turn violation on Newport Avenue. To that no left turn, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, I'm gonna have you have a conference with our captain over here. If there's something, extraordinary circumstances or something you can work out, otherwise we'll give you a date for a trial.
Michael Aguilar. Obedience to stop sign, he does qualify.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, you've been charged with failing to stop properly on that off-ramp, Thurston at Newell. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And have you been driving for at least 3 years?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Case dismissed under the good driver statute. You're all set, sir.
Nicole Paquette. Obedience to stop sign, qualifies.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you've been charged also with failing to stop properly, Thurston at Newell. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, thanks for your honesty. You're all set.
Thomas Mulvey. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice. To that charge, how do you plead?
Not guilty. Guilty.
Guilty, okay, and we'll give you consideration under the good driver statute based on your nice clean record. Case dismissed, $60.
Mabel Delgado. Obedience to traffic device, qualifies.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you've been charged with obedience to a traffic control device, probably a red light on Prospect Street.
Yes.
To that charge, how do you plead?
I'm guilty.
All right, thank you for your honesty. You're all set. Case dismissed under your good record. Thank you.
Annette Alves. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Fountain. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
You're all set. Case
you.
dismissed.
Michael Lim.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Speeding, first offense, and he does qualify.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
You've been charged with speeding on Fountain Street. You do have a clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, I appreciate that good record, sir. Have you been driving at least 3 years?
10 years.
10 years. See, the older I get, the younger people look. All set, sir.
Thank you.
Case dismissed.
James Mock. Speeding, first offense, he does qualify.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We're happy to take your case. I see here you're represented by counsel.
Yes.
All right, we'll get you out of here. You've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard, and my review of your record indicates you had an inspection sticker violation, but that will not count against you for this. You surrendered an out-of-state license, but other than that, you do have a clean driving record. Is that correct in the last 3 years?
Yes, it is.
All right, sir. How do you plead to the speeding on Armistice charge?
Guilty, miss.
All right, you're all set, sir. Thanks for coming to court.
Thank you.
Take care of that little one.
He paid downstairs. Joseph Kelly. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Sir, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard, and you do have a clean driving record in the last 3 years, though a colorful one before that.
Yes.
To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right. Congratulations on getting squared away. I don't
Thank
see
you.
anything on there since 2005, but what a run you had before that.
Yeah, being old teaches you stuff.
It sure does.
Yes, it does.
Sure does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin Souza.
Now, some people learn from that. You know, not everybody learns from their youthful mistakes.
Speeding, Your Honor, he does have a CDL license.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ron. How are you?
Sir, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Newport Avenue. You do have a clean driving record, but unfortunately in this case, you do have a CDL, which means you don't qualify for the good driver statute. So to the speeding charge on Newport Ave, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, sir, I'll enter your guilty plea, and I'll impose the minimum fine I can, which is $95, $35 of court costs. And again, I take no pleasure in this. I know you drive for a living, but the laws are very strict on, not allowing leniency when you have a CDL license. So good luck to you,
Could I have
sir.
1 minute to speak, if you don't
Sure.
mind? And forgive me for not knowing the policies. I was instructed to be here by the officer,
Sure.
and he was well aware of my CDL, and that's the reason I'm here. I didn't realize until this morning, shame on me for not reading it, but I didn't realize the CDL license affected it, but is it?
I know,
is
I
it
wish
fair?
it-
I've got
I
a
wish it
CDL
didn't.
license, 25 years I've been driving, I've maintained it. There's a great record, and this is gonna have an adverse effect on my employment, and
You've,
I don't know if this is the proper place to beg forgiveness from the court, but
Well, you know, it is. Unfortunately, it's a federal offense for me to dismiss a ticket. If you want to plead not guilty, you can have a conference with the captain. I don't know what happened that day.
well,
But as I
obviously,
said,
I'm very guilty, so.
the laws are very strict. I hate to damage your good record, sir, but really, my hands are tied with the CDL. It's very, very, as I said, it's a federal offense for me to.
Law-abiding citizen, and
No,
I work
I-
70 hours a week, and it's just,
It's
everyone gets a break.
terrible. Yeah.
All right, well, I understand it's out of your hands, but
All right,
it
sir.
doesn't seem fair.
I mean, if, I could waive the court costs for you because, you could have mailed them. Can you mail in when you have a CDL? So you could have mailed it in. I'll save you the $35 of court costs, and really, sir, I believe that the law provides me with no flexibility there. So,
Fully understand.
if I find any flexibility, why don't you make sure that we have your telephone number with the court, but again, I can't risk myself in a
understand.
federal
No, I
offense.
understand, and
But I
forgive me for
will,
not
since
knowing
you
the
could
procedure.
have mailed that in, I'll be happy to waive your court costs, okay?
Thank you
So
so
it'll be
much.
95 today, and again, give the clerk your number. I don't think that there is anything that can be done on that, but we'll call you if there is. Good luck,
Right.
thanks for that
Thank
good
you.
record, all right.
Appreciate it.
Kathleen Pimentel. Obedience to stop sign qualifies.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
You've been charged by Pawtucket Police with failing to stop properly, Thurston at Newell. To that charge, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Not guilty?
No.
Okay, we're gonna have you have a conference with our captain as soon as he finishes over here. So just have a seat over there, he'll be right with you.
Agni Karakula. Speeding, first offense, qualified.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Fountain Street. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Alrighty. Case dismissed under the good driver statute. Thanks for
you.
coming to court.
Mary Louise Joseph. Obedience to stop sign, qualified.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with that same stop sign violation, Thurston at Newell. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, thanks for your honesty, ma'am. You're all set. Case
Thank you.
dismissed under your good driving record. You too.
Harold Santos. A motion to vacate on a speeding charge.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you're before me on a motion to vacate. You were issued a ticket by Pawtucket Police on 5/1/2007. And you were supposed to be in court on 6/8, June 8th. And when you did not appear, this court defaulted you for failure to appear and imposed the full fines against you for speeding on School Street. You're here today saying you missed court. I didn't know Friday's morning court. What does that mean?
Yeah, I didn't know that the court will be in the mornings because I work in the afternoons, so that's why I didn't come the first time. That's
Well,
why.
listen, I understand anybody could have to work, but how come you didn't call the court to see what would happen and what your possibilities were? You know, when you get a ticket, you gotta deal with your ticket.
I know that's why that's why I went to I don't know where we get the plates and they told me come back here, so that's when I came here. Then they sent me on next building.
Why
So,
did you go down to Cranston?
I was a little confused, I guess. So I went down there and they told me I had to be here in Pawtucket.
Did you go to Cranston to like
To-
renew your
yeah,
license?
with
to
my
get
license,
a
yeah,
registration?
No, to say that I had this speeding ticket, and they said, no, the address is in Pawtucket, so you should go in Pawtucket. So that's why it was like misunderstanding, and I'm like a little confused. So I came that day, and the lady told me that there's courts in the morning Fridays, so she said I should appear today, so that's why I'm here.
When did you go to Cranston?
Like 3 weeks ago, before that, you know.
But like I don't understand. Like you did nothing in June, July, August. Like what made you go to Cranston in the end of August?
Because, like I said, I was, I don't know, I was so
Madam Clerk,
confused.
do you have any information on this? Like was a suspension notice or? Let me see.
You know, it's first time, so I don't know. I'm getting like confused.
Well, the issue is if you were responsible and we're dealing with this, I'm going to be more lenient. Oh my God, we're going to get in a whole nother crop of people. If it was something like, you know, you needed something and that's the only reason you're dealing with this, I'm less likely to be lenient with you. So my question is like, why do you?
I have a suspension notice you sent for October 11th.
No, I don't know.
So the state sent you a letter saying that your license was going to be suspended. So you don't know?
No, I don't know.
Como que no? I
The-
find it hard to believe
No,
that.
in serio. I mean, no, I don't. I'm a little
Are you at 79
confused.
Cottage Street, apartment 7, is that where you live?
No, I live apartment 1, 79 Cottage Street, apartment 1.
The letters are sent from the DMV, I'm wondering if you have received it because of that.
Like I said, I don't know. I'm a little shocked right now.
Well, I only know, you know, my clerk has access to the record, and so now apparently your license is scheduled to be suspended, which is what happens when you don't deal with a ticket, you know? You
Yeah.
can't just not come to court. So, sir, I'm gonna, you know, you're gonna have to just pay the ticket today. Again, like, the good driver statute is available for people who have a good driving record and do the right thing and come and deal with the ticket. I mean, unfortunately, if there were no suspension notice in the computer, I would dismiss this for you.
Okay,
But it does appear that the only reason that you're dealing with anything is because your license, according to the computer, is scheduled to be suspended on October 11th. So I have to believe that you somehow knew that and that that's why you're, the only reason that you're dealing with this ticket.
Like I said, I didn't know about that, so
I know,
I'm a
because
little
it does
shocked.
not make any sense to me that if you got a ticket from a police officer in the city of Pawtucket, why would you go to Cranston to deal with that? Why wouldn't you come to
Like I
City
said, I
Hall, to
was,
the police
and
department?
I even told my wife, I said, wow, how dumb I was, because the address is in the bottom, and I was like looking on the back, and I even log in into the computer, couldn't find it. I'm like, something's not
Couldn't
right.
find
So
what? Pawtucket
my
police on the
case, yeah, my
computer?
case, trying to log in to see if I can
Anyway,
pay
I mean, if you
my
logged
ticket.
in Pawtucket Police, it would come right up. Municipal Court comes right up. So anyway, you will have to pay this ticket, sir. Like,
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you the good driving statute when, again, all you had to do was either come or call, either before that date preferably. I mean, we all like when somebody cancels an appointment or says they can't make it, because I don't know, actually, we haven't had too many reschedules, but I will happily reschedule things for
I
people.
understand.
If you call, this is the people's court, it's paid for by the taxpayers. We want to be good and kind to taxpayers. You call my clerk, they all know I've instructed them, freely give continuances. If you got a vacation planned, or you got a doctor's appointment, or you're starting school, we'll give you another date. We always let people know, even on the website, when the different court dates are, so that people could say, well, I worked that day, is there anything else I can do? Can I pay by mail? We work with everybody, but again, sir, under the circumstances before me, you will have to pay the original ticket. So to the charge of speeding on School Street, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, I'm gonna enter your guilty plea. I will impose the minimum fine, which is $95 plus $35 of court costs, so it's $130. But if you pay that today, or certainly before October 11th, I will rescind the suspension notice. But you do have to take care of that before I rescind, Madam Clerk, okay? Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and that should be a lesson to everybody. Just deal with your tickets, and, I'll work with anybody, but you can't come on the eve of a suspension and say, oh, I didn't know. Next case.
Recall Kathleen Pimentel.
Kathleen. Okay, good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, the officer has indicated that you wish to plead guilty to this stop sign violation, Thurston at Newell, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right,
And
case
here's my
dismissed under the good driver statute. Thanks for coming to court.
Timothy DeMello. Speeding first offense, qualifies.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Sir, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. You have a nice, clean driving record. To that charge, how do you plead? You're all set, sir. Thanks for coming to court.
Kayla Reese. Obedience to stop signs, she has not been driving for 3 years.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, you have been charged with a stop sign violation, Rice at Bart. And as the officer indicates, how long have you been driving?
A year.
A year, okay. So, I hate to see new drivers getting tickets, but by the same token, you don't qualify for the good driver statute. Because you don't qualify for that, yet in the year you haven't had a ticket, I will allow you to perform community service.
Okay.
So, and then if you successfully complete the community service, I will dismiss this for you. Would you like
Okay.
that option?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna order that you do 15 hours of community service, and at that point, I'll dismiss that. So go find a charity that speaks to your heart, some good cause. You could work at a soup kitchen, a church, a shelter. You can organize clothes for Houston or perhaps Florida, depending on what happens this weekend, a clothing drive, and send good things down there. But, Blackstone Valley Community Action, Salvation Army, any charity that you like. And then after you finish, you're gonna get a letter to me that says that Kayla Reese completed 15 hours of community service. And then you come back to the court, we'll give you a date. So I'll give you 30 days to do your community service, okay?
Okay.
Would you like it on the Friday morning? Does that work for you?
Yeah.
9 a.m.?
So I just go anywhere and do community service.
Yes, you could do domestic violence, prevention, any charity, any cause that you're interested in. The environment, the ways to help the world are unlimited.
Okay.
All right? We'll see you back
It's gonna be Friday, October 6th at 9 a.m.
Okay. So
10/6. We'll see you back in a month with your community service letter. Bueno, you can speak with her too. She'll explain anything that you need to. Go ahead, Madam Clerk. Next case.
Sharon Feldman. Speeding first offense, she does qualify.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right. Your record is a little funky. Looks like you have an inspection sticker, which will not preclude this. Owner-operator dismissal. Madam Clerk, what's the owner-operator
That is my
dismissal?
note, Your Honor.
I see that.
I had contacted the traffic tribunal. Technically, no insurance is a moving violation, but in her case, the ticket was dismissed. She had insurance, it just wasn't on her person or in the vehicle, so it wasn't.
Is that correct, ma'am? You were
Yeah, if I'm
stopped?
thinking of the time, it was, yeah. I think I was stopped for an inspection sticker, and I don't even remember. It was
That's a
I
different
think it was a
one.
while
You've got an
ago.
inspection sticker
Have it on me,
in
yeah.
15, and then but you did have insurance at that time. All right, ma'am.
We can't pull back the ticket once it's issued. We have the
No, I
notice go
understand.
in and
Sure.
show proof that it was dismissed.
Yeah, everybody, that's another thing. Make sure that your proof of your insurance company, when you buy it, they always give you a little piece of paper that you can put right in your glove compartment, because it is a violation not to have, not just not to have insurance, but you need to have proof of insurance. So that's the piece of paper that you want to put in your glove compartment. I'll give you a break, though, ma'am. Now, listen, I'm going to do something nice for you and dismiss this under the good driver statute, despite the fact that you have two, they're not disqualifying, though, but you do have two things. So go do the right thing, case dismissed under the good drivers.
Thank you.
I didn't even ask you. To that charge, how do you plead?
Oh, guilty.
All right, you sure?
Yeah.
All right, case dismissed. Got ahead of myself.
Vivian Noriega. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
All right, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you've been charged with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty?
All right, you're all set. Case dismissed.
Craig Webb. Speeding, first offense, qualifies.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. Sir, to that speeding on Fountain charge, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
You're all set. Nice, clean record. I appreciate that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next case. $60.
Sabrina Washburn. Motion to vacate an inspection sticker violation.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you have been charged by Pawtucket Police with a inspection sticker violation. You were stopped by the police on 5/1/17, and at that time, you were driving a car with an inspection sticker that had been expired since April of 16. You were issued a ticket, and you were supposed to come to court on June 8th, 2017. When you did not appear on June 8th, this court defaulted you, and the fact that you were defaulted and you didn't appear was sent over to the DMV, and then they issued a suspension notice on August 23rd, indicating that your license would be suspended on October 11th. Does that all sound correct?
Pretty much, yes.
All right, so my first question to you is, what happened with the inspection violation, and why didn't you come to court or otherwise deal with that?
I mean, I can give you my whole life story, but I don't think you really want to hear it.
All right.
But pretty much, I completely forgot about the ticket, and I kept, trying to go and get my car inspected, but just.
All right,
He
I'll
just
allow
caught me.
you to the charge of driving an uninspected vehicle. How do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, I'm going to allow you to just pay the ticket. If you pay the ticket today, I'll rescind the suspension notice, but as I've said a couple times in court today, it never pays not to pay or deal with your tickets.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other judges of the state, but I will work with anybody as long as I see someone's trying to work
Yeah.
out things. I understand that life carries a lot of challenges sometimes.
Yeah.
If you would come in, you were actually driving a very uninspected for a long time car, so I probably wouldn't
I
have,
just
but
forgot about it. I'm sorry.
$85 fine, $35 of court costs, $120. Madam Clerk, if she pays before the suspension date, please rescind the
Thank you.
suspension notice.
All right.
Now, listen, I'm rescinding that, doing something nice to you,
Thank
despite the
you.
fact that you didn't come to court. Go do something nice for
Thank you
someone
so
else.
much.
All right.
All right.
Rebecca Kenny. And I have two violations, obedience to stop sign and speeding.
Within a week.
Okay, ma'am, that was a bad
Bad week.
run of it. All right, so let's look at your record here. So the first one in time occurred 7/24, followed by 8/4/17. You do have a clean driving record, so why don't we to the charge of failing to stop properly, Rice at
Guilty.
Bart. All right, we'll enter your guilty plea, and I will give you consideration under the good driver statute on that one. So that'll be $60 with a dismissal, though. GDS, good driver statute. And then on the speeding at Armistice Boulevard, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
All right, I'll do my best, and I'll impose the minimum fine I can on that particular charge, which will be $95, so that's $130 on that one, so $190, but at least one of them will be dismissal in terms of insurance purposes, okay?
Thank you.
Do slow down, as you can
Yes.
see, the police are out there, especially over the summer, because a lot of children are out playing, school is,
I had my 2-year-old with me both times,
No.
and I live right there, so I go down
I
the street a million and one times a day.
I
I
understand.
got caught.
all right, good luck to you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you.
Taylor Dupree? Obedience to stop sign does not qualify.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. Ma'am, you've been charged by Pawtucket Police with failing to stop properly Thurston at Newell. Unfortunately, you do have a speeding ticket on your record from 3/7/2006. Do you recall getting that speeding ticket?
2006?
16,
Oh,
sorry.
yes, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
2016, it wouldn't count if it was in 6. So unfortunately, you do not qualify for the good driver statute, but to the stop sign violation, Thurston at Newell, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, we're gonna have a conference over here with our captain, and we'll see if there's extraordinary circumstances or something you could work out. There you go, Captain, it's a not guilty plea.
Melanie Kipp? Speeding. She is 2 months short.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you have been charged by Pawtucket Police with speeding on Armistice Boulevard. To that charge, how do you plead?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I was told by the folks out there if I could ask if I could get good driving because it's short by 2 months. If I'm not, I am going to plead not guilty.
Well, you won't have to do that, ma'am, because I'll give you a break today. I
Thank
think
you
you're
very much,
pretty
Your Honor.
close, and we're going to give you a little Christmas present in
Thank you.
September, all right? Now, listen, I'm doing something very nice for you, so go do something nice for someone else. Case
Absolutely.
dismissed under the almost good driver.
Thank you
Go
so
ahead.
much, Your Honor.
You're
Have a good
close.
day.
Good luck. Now, don't forget to do something nice
Oh,
for
I
somebody.
will. Trust me.
Alex Polanco? Obedience to stop sign qualifies.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
To that obedience to stop sign violation, Thurston at Newell, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, actually, you have just a clean driving record. It looks like your license was reissued on 7/14/14, and this was 7/26. So a make by little is a make by a lot. You're going to be all set, sir. How do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, case dismissed. I'm happy to give you the good driver statute, all right? Good luck to you, sir.
Christopher Brulette? No left turn, qualifies.
Morning, sir. To that no left turn Newport at Mill charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
You're all set, sir. Case dismissed. Good driving statute.
Nicole Wood? Speeding, qualifies.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
To that speeding on Fountain charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
All right, thanks for your honesty. You're all set. Case dismissed under the good driver statute.
Have a great day.
Julian Severino? Inspection violation, 3 brake lights.
All 3. All right, sir. Have you inspected the vehicle?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have proof that it's inspected? ¿Lo ha inspeccionado?
No. Está impresionado.
I think it was an equipment violation, I believe.
Eso va para la inspección, para el de
Oh, it was just a brake light. Okay.
brake light.
¿Qué prueba tienes que... You speak Spanish or Portuguese?
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah.
¿Qué prueba tienes que has arreglado estas luces?
Es que las luces lo que hace es que se pegan. Se pegan. Cuando pego el brake, a veces no prende. Pero
Hay que arreglar eso.
Hay que darle y vuelven y se pegan. Yo la arreglo y vuelvo a lo mismo,
Tienes que cambiar las alambres
No,
o
lo que
algo.
tengo que cambiar el carro.
¿Cómo?
Cambiar el carro.
¿Lo cambiaste?
Lo voy a cambiar.
¿Cuándo?
Que
¿Cuándo?
Lo voy a cambiar ahora, ¿no?
¿Pero cuándo? ¿Cuándo es ahora?
Maybe next month.
Because I can't dismiss this until I know those lights are working. Yo no lo puedo abandonar eso hasta que
No,
esté
las luces están buenas.
¿Ah?
Tan buenas. Yo le dije al oficial es que a veces se pega cuando el carro cae en
Do
un
we have
hoyo.
someone who could go down and inspect
It's
these
good.
lights? He hasn't done anything.
I put
You
in
do
the
that?
I put in the parking.
Bueno, el oficial, he says that it sticks and that it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I said change the wires. So if it's working when you look at it, Officer Kelly, then we're gonna believe him. If it's not working, he's got troubles. All right, it has been a busy morning. It is 10:25 and the courtroom is now empty of motorists and traffic court litigation. Sir, you're not here for traffic, correct? And therefore, there are a number of people who did not appear today, and therefore, I'm going to default them all with maximum statutory fines and court costs. It's always the worst thing not to appear in court because you are going to get the maximum fines. And so, Madam Clerk, I will review these and sign off on all of them, and if you would be so kind as to read them into the record, I would appreciate it.